It was a quiet night on Earth. The stars were bright, the cities were asleep, and the world was calm. No one knew that far away in deep space, something was watching. For years, humans had sent signals into the universe trying to make contact with other life. Most scientists believed no one would ever answer, but someone finally did. The first signal came from the edge of the solar system. A weak radio wave touched an old satellite, one that had stopped working years ago. The satellite suddenly came alive and sent a strange message back to Earth. At first, the signal looked like random noise, but when scientists from the Deep Space Network decoded it, they realized it was not noise. It was a pattern. It was intelligent. In a control room filled with screens and blinking lights, Dr. Maya Collins stared at the monitor. Her hands were shaking as she listened to the strange rhythmic sound. She turned to her team and whispered, "This is not human." The room went silent. Everyone looked at each other. The message repeated every 12 minutes. It was like someone was calling. Within hours, every major space agency on Earth was listening. The signal was spreading, bouncing between satellites, growing stronger each time. It was as if something was amplifying it from space. The scientists tried to trace it, but the source kept moving, jumping from one part of the sky to another. It made no sense. Nothing in space could move that fast. Then something even stranger happened. Every electronic device across the planet blinked for 1 second. Phones, computers, even airplanes, navigation systems. People thought it was just a glitch. But in that same second, the signal stopped. Complete silence filled the communication lines. Then a new message arrived. It was only one word: ready. No one understood what it meant. Some believed it was a friendly message. Others thought it was a warning. Governments around the world ordered their scientists to stay quiet. News channels reported nothing. The world continued its normal life, but something had changed. The air felt heavier, like the world was waiting for something big. 3 days later, strange lights appeared in the night sky. They were not meteors, not planes. They moved too fast, too sharp. People in different countries recorded them on their phones. Videos flooded the internet. The lights hovered silently, forming perfect shapes before vanishing in seconds. Many thought it was fake, but the scientists knew it was real. Dr. Maya stayed at the observatory all night, studying the lights. When she zoomed in with the telescope, she saw metallic objects, almost transparent, bending the light around them. It was technology beyond human understanding. She felt a chill run down her spine. These were not visitors. They were scouts. Something was coming. In the next 24 hours, the world began to feel strange vibrations under the ground. Seismographs recorded small, rhythmic tremors, as if something massive was moving deep below. The signals returned, stronger than ever. This time the sound was not random. It formed a low, pulsing beat, like a heartbeat. The same word appeared again on every screen connected to the network: ready. The United Nations held a secret emergency meeting. Every leader sat in silence as the head of the space. Defense Council explained that the objects in orbit were increasing in number. There were now over 200 unidentified crafts around Earth. They were not attacking, not communicating. Just watching. At midnight, something incredible happened. The moon darkened. A huge shadow covered part of its surface. Through telescopes, they saw an enormous ship larger than any human city blocking the sunlight. It was not just visiting. It was positioning itself. Dr. Maya watched in horror as the data streamed in. The ship released smaller vessels that began descending toward Earth's atmosphere. One by one, they disappeared into the clouds. Then her monitor flashed a new message, this time in English. "We have watched you. We know what you are. The test begins now." Before she could react, the power went out. The entire facility plunged into darkness. Outside, the sky glowed red for a few seconds, then everything went black again. Across the world, satellites stopped transmitting. The internet crashed, and for the first time in history, Earth was completely silent. No one knew what was happening in the skies above. But one thing was clear: the visitors were not afraid of humans. At least not yet, but soon. They would be, because something on Earth was waking up something. The aliens had never seen before. something that would make them fear the planet they thought was weak. The world was in panic. Power grids were down, communication lines were dead, and the sky looked strange dark, but glowing with faint red lines that moved like veins. People ran into the streets, looking up, confused and afraid. No one knew what was happening. Governments tried to calm the public, but there was no way to hide the truth anymore. Something powerful had arrived in the deep underground command center of the United Nations. Leaders and scientists sat in silence, staring at the last transmission they had received before everything went dark. The alien message still blinked on the big screen. The test begins now. Dr. Maya Collins stood near the main console, her face pale. She spoke softly. "They're not here to destroy us. Not yet. They're testing us." General Hawkins, head of Earth Defense Command, frowned. "Testing for what?" Maya turned toward him. "To see if we fight back or surrender." While they spoke, strange things started happening across the planet. In a desert in Nevada, a group of soldiers noticed their vehicles vibrating even though the engines were off. The sand around them began to shift, forming a spiral pattern. Then, out of nowhere, their communication radio switched on, playing an unfamiliar voice. It wasn't human. It was calm and deep. "Your world is unstable. Your time is short. Accept the code or face silence." Before anyone could respond, the ground exploded with light, and the soldiers vanished without a trace. Only the spiral remained, glowing faintly in the sand at the same time. Deep in the Pacific Ocean, seismic sensors detected massive energy pulses. A research submarine captured footage of something moving below, something huge. It looked like a structure rising from the ocean floor, made of dark metal and blue light. The scientists on board were shocked. It wasn't alien. It was human-made. But no one on Earth had ever built something like that. The object slowly opened, revealing a symbol glowing on its surface, a circle with 3 lines crossing through it. Dr. Maya received the signal from the submarine before the power cut off again. Her eyes widened as she recognized the symbol. It was the same one NASA had found decades ago on a secret probe sent to Jupiter's moon Europa. That mission was classified and never discussed again. "It's waking up," she whispered. Meanwhile, in cities around the world, strange electromagnetic waves pulsed through the air. Electronic devices started turning on by themselves. Old satellites reconnected automatically, even the ones that were long dead. A network of forgotten technology began to come alive. It was as if the planet itself was remembering something. The aliens continued to watch. Their ships floated silently above the atmosphere, invisible to the naked eye, but glowing faintly in the infrared. Inside one of those ships, alien beings studied the data. They spoke in a language made of sound waves and light patterns. One of them said, "Their machines respond to the signal. The human world carries ancient code." Another replied, "Impossible. This species was primitive. How can they possess this?" A third voice, darker and colder, answered, "Because they were not the first. Someone left something behind on this planet, and now it awakens." Back on Earth, Dr. Maya's team tried to reconnect the global systems. When they finally restored partial power, every screen showed the same image, the circle with 3 crossing lines, and beneath it, a countdown. The timer started from 48 hours. No one knew what would happen when the countdown reached 0. Some believed it was the aliens' attack time. Others thought it was a message from the thing under the ocean. The only thing everyone agreed on was that the clock was ticking fast. Maya decided to go to the Pacific Research Station herself. "If that thing under the ocean is connected to the signal," she said, "it might be the only thing that can stop them." General Hawkins tried to stop her, but she was already gone. She boarded a military jet with a small team of scientists and soldiers. As they flew over the dark ocean, the water below began to glow faint blue, forming massive circular patterns. The readings on their instruments went crazy. Then their pilot shouted, "Something's rising." Out of the deep ocean, a colossal structure broke the surface. Water crashed off its sides as it rose higher and higher, like a mountain of metal. It had no sharp edges, only smooth, curved surfaces that seemed to shift and move like liquid steel. Lights ran across its body in perfect rhythm with the signal. The ship stopped rising, floating just above the waves. And then a beam of light shot upward into the sky, piercing the clouds straight toward space. The alien ships hidden above Earth suddenly reacted. They moved back, forming a defensive line. For the first time, the watchers hesitated. Dr. Maya looked out the jet window, her heart racing. "They're afraid," she whispered. No one knew what that machine was, who built it, or why it was buried under the sea. But now, something inside it was waking up something old, something powerful, and something that did not like being disturbed. And for the first time, the aliens realized that Earth was not as weak as they thought. The massive machine floated above the ocean, silent but alive. Its smooth silver surface reflected the moonlight, and its glowing lines pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. The air around it felt heavy, charged with strange energy. Every compass and radar on the planet went wild. Even the tides began to shift, as if the sea itself was responding to the machine's power. Dr. Maya Collins stood on the deck of the military ship staring at it. Her mind raced with questions. "Who built this?" she whispered. The scientists beside her could not speak. The readings on their screens were beyond anything human science could understand. The machine emitted no radiation, no heat, and yet its energy output was higher than any nuclear plant on Earth. Suddenly, the glowing circle symbol appeared in the sky above the structure, the same one from the countdown. The numbers on the screen now showed 39 hours left. The sound returned again, that same deep, pulsing signal that had first come from space. But this time, it wasn't coming from above. It was coming from inside the Earth. In orbit, the alien fleet watched closely. Thousands of ships formed a massive ring around the planet. They scanned, measured, and analyzed every signal. Inside their command vessel, a tall alien leader named Xyler looked at the data. "This planet hides technology older than our empire," he said. "Activate the destroyers. We cannot allow it to wake." But something strange began to happen to their ships. As soon as the destroyers powered up their weapons, their systems glitched. Screens turned black, lights flickered, and engines shut down one by one. The same symbol appeared on their control panels. The aliens froze. They had never seen anything like this. "Something is hacking us," one shouted. Xyler's eyes glowed. "No, not hacking. It's communicating." Back on Earth, Maya and her team detected the same phenomenon. The alien ships were losing control. The machine under the ocean was sending out waves of data reaching far beyond the atmosphere. "It's defending itself," Maya said. "Or maybe it's defending us." Suddenly, a voice came through the radio, not from any human channel, but through the machine itself. It was calm, deep, and slightly mechanical. "Human life detected. Recognition protocol active. Guardian of Earth awakening." The soldiers on the deck looked at each other in shock. Maya grabbed the radio. "Who are you? What are you?" she asked. The voice replied, "I am what your ancestors left behind. I am the last memory of the first civilization." The team went silent. Maya's heart pounded. "You mean humans didn't build you?" "No," the voice said. "Humans are the children of those who came before. They fell. You remained." Before Maya could ask more, the sea exploded with light. Columns of blue energy rose into the sky, hitting the clouds. The rain stopped midair. Everything froze for a moment. Even time seemed slower. The alien fleet, still struggling to regain control, suddenly turned their sensors toward the ocean. The readings made them panic. "Impossible," one alien officer said. "That energy core, it's stronger than our entire fleet." Xyler shouted, "Retreat formation! Prepare for combat." But before they could move, beams of light shot from Earth's surface. They weren't weapons, but signals coded messages of energy. Each beam hit a different alien ship. One by one, the ships began to spin uncontrollably, losing power. It was as if the machine was rewriting their systems from a distance. Maya watched the lights from the ship. "It's fighting back," she said in disbelief. "It knows how to stop them." General Hawkins' voice came through the military channel from the command center. "Dr. Maya, what's your status?" She replied quickly, "General, it's not an alien invasion anymore. It's a war between them and something that was already here." High above, Xyler looked down at the planet. His voice trembled with anger. "This world is not supposed to have this kind of power. The old race is extinct." Another alien said, "Then what is that machine?" Xyler stared at the glowing Earth, something they left behind to guard it, something we were never meant to face. The countdown continued, 36 hours left. The machine was still waking up, still unlocking its full strength. The ocean around it began to boil as new structures rose from the depths, towers of metal and crystal that formed a massive ring. The planet's magnetic field grew stronger, forming an invisible shield that pushed back the alien ships. Dr. Maya looked at the rising towers and whispered, "It's building a defense network." She realized something even more terrifying. If that thing wakes fully, it might not only protect Earth, it might destroy anything it sees as a threat, including us. Lightning cracked across the sky, striking the ocean. The machine glowed brighter than ever, pulsing like a living heart. And somewhere deep within its core, something ancient opened its eyes for the first time in millions of years. The aliens had wanted to test Earth, but now it was Earth's turn to test them. The ocean glowed like liquid fire. The great machine, now called the Guardian, was fully awake. Its smooth silver surface rippled like water. The massive towers rising from the sea were now connected by glowing blue energy lines. The sound of deep humming filled the air, vibrating through every wave, every cloud, every living thing on Earth. Dr. Maya Collins watched in awe from the military ship. Her voice shook as she said, "It's alive. It's really alive." The soldiers around her stood frozen, their eyes wide. The Guardian was not just a machine, it was a being. Something between technology and life. The countdown now showed 30 hours left, up in orbit. The alien commander Xyler watched the situation spiral out of control. His ships were losing systems, his weapons were offline, and the strange code from Earth kept invading his computers. He slammed his fist against the control panel. Enough. If the Guardian completes activation, our empire will lose everything. We must destroy it now. His second officer hesitated. "But Commander, the planet's magnetic field is blocking our main cannons, and we attack from inside the atmosphere," Xyler shouted. "Prepare the storm units. We end this now." Moments later, dark clouds formed across the sky. Alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere like shadows, their hulls bending the light around them. Cities below could see glowing lines slicing through the clouds as the ships prepared to strike. Panic spread across the world. People ran, prayed, screamed. Governments ordered everyone to take shelter. But deep down, humanity knew there was nowhere to hide. Maya looked at the sky. "They're coming," she said quietly. Suddenly, the Guardian spoke again through the ship's radio. "Hostile entities detected. Defense Protocol 7 activated." The ocean shook. From beneath the surface, hundreds of smaller orbs of light rose into the air. They moved fast, forming patterns above the Guardian. The orbs were silent, beautiful, and deadly. When the first alien ship fired its plasma beam, the orbs responded, instantly shooting a white pulse that sliced through the sky. The beam vanished, and the alien ship exploded into dust without a sound. Everyone on the ship gasped. The orbs turned and formed a perfect circle in the sky, creating a dome of energy over the Pacific. Alien ships fired again, but their weapons dissolved before reaching the surface. It was as if Earth itself refused to be harmed. General Hawkins spoke through the communicator from the underground base. "Dr. Maya, whatever that thing is, it's protecting the planet. But we don't know how long it'll last." Maya nodded. "We have to understand it before it's too late. What happens when the countdown hits 0? No one had an answer. In space, chaos spread among the alien fleets. Commander and officer shouted, "We are losing hundreds of ships. Their defense system adapts faster than we can attack." Xyler stared at the glowing planet and whispered, "That machine. It remembers us. It knows who we are." Another officer turned to him. "You mean it's not just a weapon?" Xyler's voice grew dark. No, it's vengeance. The last creation of the ones we destroyed long ago. The words hit hard. The truth was terrible. The alien empire had once wiped out an ancient race, the same race that built the Guardian. And Earth had inherited their last secret. Back on the ocean, Maya studied the machine's pulses. She realized the energy was not only attacking it, was scanning the human network, linking to old data, ancient ruins, and satellites. It's reading human history, she said. It's judging if we are the same as the ones who built it. Or if we're a threat to... Her assistant looked terrified. And if it decides we are? Maya's eyes were full of fear. Then it might destroy everything to protect what it thinks is sacred. The sky turned bright as lightning exploded in every direction. The Guardian sent a shockwave that reached into orbit, knocking out half of the alien fleet. But the remaining ships were still advancing. Xyler's voice echoed through the alien network. Send the core bomb. We end the Guardian before it ends us. A massive dark object detached from the alien mothership. It looked like a black star falling toward Earth. Maya saw it on the radar and shouted, "They've launched something. It's heading straight for us." The Guardian reacted instantly. Its central eye opened a glowing sphere of pure light. The air turned still. The sea became glass. Then a single beam of energy shot upward, meeting the falling object halfway. The sky turned white. For a moment, there was no sound, no movement, no time. When the light faded, the alien weapon was gone. Only vapor remained. The clouds slowly began to move again. Maya stood silently, her eyes full of tears. "It saved us," she whispered. But the Guardian spoke again, louder than before. "Judgment incomplete. Humanity status unknown. Countdown continues." The numbers flashed. 24 hours left. The aliens were terrified now. Xyler's voice trembled as he spoke to his army. "Retreat to the far side of the moon. We need distance." As the fleet began to pull back, one of his officers asked, "Commander, what now?" Xyler stared at Earth, glowing with impossible power. "Now," he said, "we find a way to survive. Because if that thing decides humans are unworthy, the whole galaxy will burn." The Guardian pulsed again, brighter than ever, and deep within its heart. Something ancient was whispering a message meant only for Earth. The world stood between silence and fear. The Guardian floated above the ocean like a sleeping god, its surface glowing with slow blue waves. The countdown on every screen showed 18 hours left. People everywhere stared at the same number, praying it would stop, but it never did. Dr. Maya Collins hadn't slept for 2 days. Her eyes were red, her voice weak, but she refused to leave the control deck. She knew the countdown was leading to something big, something final. The Guardian had saved Earth from the alien attack. But now it was watching humanity, studying, measuring. "Guardian," she spoke into the radio. "What is your purpose? Why are you here?" At first there was silence. Then the same deep, calm voice replied, "I was built to protect the seed." Maya frowned. "The seed? What is that?" "The seed is the origin of life on this world. My creators placed it here after the Great War. It carries their knowledge, their essence, their memory. My mission is to guard it until the next worthy species awakens." Maya's heart skipped a beat. "You mean we are that species?" The Guardian paused. "You are their children, but your path is uncertain. Your world fights itself. You build weapons stronger than your wisdom. You stand at the edge of your own extinction." Maya's hands trembled. "We can change. We've survived wars, disasters. We learn, even if slowly." The Guardian's voice grew deeper. "Then prove it. The final test begins when the countdown reaches 0. Maya looked at her team. They all knew this wasn't a threat. It was a judgment. The Guardian was deciding if humanity deserved to exist. Meanwhile, above the planet, the alien commander Xyler watched from the shadows of the moon. His fleet was damaged and frightened. The code from Earth had infected their systems, spreading like a living virus. "This Guardian is a relic of the ancients," Xyler said. If it awakens completely, not only we but our entire empire will be erased. An officer asked, "Then we destroy the planet?" Xyler stared at the glowing blue earth. "We tried that once, long ago. It didn't end well." He turned toward a hologram showing the Guardian. "Long before humans, our ancestors fought the first civilization. They created machines that could rewrite reality itself. When we destroyed them, we thought we ended their kind forever. But now, one of their guardians still lives, hidden on this small planet," clenched his hands, "and it remembers us." Back on Earth, strange things began happening again. Across the world, ancient sites like the pyramids, Stonehenge, and old temples started glowing faintly. Energy lines, thin streams of light connected them across continents, forming a web around the planet. The Guardian pulsed brighter in response. Maya watched in disbelief. It's using Earth's old structures. They were never just monuments. They were part of a network. The Guardian spoke again, its voice echoing through every speaker, every frequency on the planet. "The web is complete. The seed is awakening." Then, in the middle of the ocean, the water split apart. A deep rumble shook the earth. From the ocean floor, a sphere the size of a mountain slowly rose. It was covered in ancient markings, glowing like fire. The Guardian moved closer to it, and the light between them connected. "Is that the seed?" Maya whispered. The answer came as a soft vibration that everyone on Earth could feel in their bones. "Yes. The memory of the first civilization lives inside. When the countdown ends, its judgment will be released." At the same time, Xyler and his fleet prepared for one final strike. They armed a weapon so powerful it could destroy half a planet. "We have no choice," he said. "If the seed awakens, the old code will erase our species." He gave the order. "All ships stargate the Pacific Zone. Fire when ready." Back on the surface, the Guardian's sensors detected the attack. Incoming energy wave detected. Origin, external. Response, necessary.
Oh.
It sent a signal deep into the Earth's core. The ground trembled violently. Volcanoes erupted across the world, not in destruction, but in synchronization. Each eruption released light instead of lava, feeding energy back into the Guardian. Dr. Maya shouted over the noise, "It's drawing power from the whole planet." The alien weapon fired a beam of dark energy, large enough to burn continents. But before it could reach Earth, the Guardian opened completely. Its entire body split into pieces that floated in the air like petals of metal light. From its center, a bright sphere emerged. The beam hit, the light and vanished. The sky went white again. For a second, everything stopped. Then a massive pulse of energy spread across the solar system, disabling every alien ship. Xyler's fleet went dark. His voice trembled. "We can't move. It's controlling our ships." The Guardian spoke once more. "Interference neutralized. Countdown continues. The number changed 12 hours left." Maya looked up at the glowing machine. Her heart was full of both fear and hope. "What happens at 0? She asked softly. The Guardian replied, "Then the seed decides who will inherit this world." The message spread everywhere. Every human heard it in their own language, even those who didn't understand radio or English. The world went quiet. Children stopped crying. Soldiers dropped their weapons. For the first time in history, the entire human race listened to one voice, and high above, Dove. In the darkness of space, the aliens watched silently. For the first time in centuries, they felt something their kind had forgotten long ago. Fear, because they knew the truth. The seed was not just a machine, it was alive. And soon it would wake. The world waited. The countdown reached 10 hours, then 9, and kept ticking. The skies above Earth were calm now, but the calm felt heavy, almost alive. The Great Guardian hovered above the glowing ocean, its light reaching the edges of the horizon. The seed, the massive sphere that had risen from the deep, floated beside it. Pulsing softly like a sleeping heart, every human eye was turned to the sky. Every radio, every broken phone, every powerless screen flickered with the same message. The judgment begins soon. Dr. Maya Collins stood on the deck of the military ship, her clothes soaked from the ocean spray. Her hands trembled as she stared at the countdown. 3 hours left. She whispered to herself, "Please, let it see we're worth saving." Deep under the ocean, the Guardian's voice echoed again. "Humanity has reached the final stage. The seed will now evaluate your kind." The sky changed color. Clouds turned golden, and a soft hum filled the air. All around the world, people looked up, hearing whispers in their minds, not words, but memories. Old wars, peace treaties, acts of kindness, discoveries, inventions, everything humanity had ever done replayed before their eyes like a living history. Maya fell to her knees. She could see her own memories, her childhood, her first telescope, her first dream of space. She wasn't alone. Every person on Earth was seeing their story. The Guardian said, "The seed watches your hearts, not your weapons. It listens to your choices." Far above, in the darkness near the moon, the alien fleet remained silent. Their ships floated helplessly, systems frozen by the Guardian's code. Commander Zyler stared at the glowing planet, unable to move. "It's judging them," he said softly. An officer replied, "If they pass, we are finished." Ziller nodded. "If they fail, the galaxy might survive?" But even as he spoke, his voice carried fear. Deep inside, he knew this was no ordinary test. It was the end of an age. Back on Earth, strange lights began to appear in the sky. They were not weapons, but forms, shapes of pure energy. They looked like figures made of light, ancient and beautiful. The Guardian's voice grew softer. "These are the echoes of my creators, the first civilization. They will decide." The seed opened slowly, and from within came a sound like a chorus of 1,000 voices speaking as one. "Children of Earth," it said, "you have built much and destroyed much. You have caused pain, yet you have also shown love. You wage war, yet you create art. You are still learning. The question is simple. Will you keep destroying, or will you protect as we once did?" Maya stood up and shouted into the wind, even though she knew it might not hear her. "We can change. We've learned from our mistakes. We fight, yes, but we also hope. We dream. Please, give us a chance." The light from the seed pulsed stronger, almost like it was listening. Then, suddenly, everything went silent. The countdown reached 0. The earth stopped shaking. The ocean stilled. The wind froze. Time itself seemed to stop. Then the seed spoke one final time. "Judgment complete. Humanity is not perfect, but it is alive. It grows. It dreams. It deserves one more chance." A wave of light spread from the seed, covering the entire planet. Broken cities repaired themselves. Forests regrew. Polluted oceans cleared in seconds. The world was reborn. People cried, hugged, and laughed. For the first time in human history, the planet was united not by war, but by survival.